Yeah, man. So I want to explain the difference between um, V2K and artificial telepathy. Okay, because a lot of people just call it V2K. All right, and the fact is, V2K is a thing, but hardly anybody really has V2K. Okay, it's voice to skull. V2K requires you to have a chip somewhere in your head. Okay, and it's basically limited to voice to skull. Okay, you have something inside of your head, inside of your head, an implant somewhere, transmitting a signal. Okay, which is very different than what 99% of the people have. Everybody thinks that's voice to skull. Okay, and I know my background picture on Facebook is voice to skull, but it doesn't really show that part unless you click on it where it says voice to skull. But it was just a cool picture that kind of summed up, what I was going through. And I put it up a long time ago. I don't want to change my picture because my page is very recognizable. So now, what most people have, okay, look, Voice of Skull is very old. It's vintage technology. All right, it's outdated, and it's not something that's feasible, really, and it's not something that they use. Okay, it's like it would be like driving a remote controlled car with a wire attached to it. Okay, if you remember those way back in the day, it had like remote control cars with a wire attached to the remote, and you could only drive it like right in front of you. That's kind of like would be the comparison. Okay, now what you have is artificial telepathy. Okay, and the way artificial telepathy works is from remote neural monitoring. Okay, satellites use EMF waves, okay, to lock onto your specific EMF signature, and every human has a different one. Okay, so it's your frequency, your EMF signature. Okay, and that's broadcast is coming from you, okay, back to the satellite, being all read through the EMF. EMF covers the entire Earth. All right, it's a web of infrastructure that's naturally here. Okay, we don't need to use cell phone towers and different stuff. All we need is something to receive and to broadcast within that EMF web. Okay, so you have remote neural monitoring. All right, so the satellites read you. They read your evoked potentials, your EEG, everything. It reads your thoughts. It reads your senses, all of your senses, your vision, your smell, your hearing, your thoughts, all of it. Okay, and it's all decoded in the system, and you're broadcasting to whatever is receiving you. All right, and it's broadcasting back to you. Okay, and other people can connect if they have access to neural monitoring. It's just a profile on a website with all the neurological control panel settings for the artificial telepathy and the EMF broadcasting and everything. So you could connect to other people, okay, and then they can hear you artificial telepathy. They can hear you talking out loud, or they can hear you thinking. They can see your vision, or they can see your imagination, your dreams. They see your view with your eyes open or closed. They hear you whether you're talking out loud or thinking. Okay, and that's if you're good, then you can do voices of anybody, because like if you just imagine your favorite song playing, okay, imagine it in your head, and it's playing along in your head, and if you can imagine it well enough to hear it, okay, then whoever's artificial telepathic with you can hear what you are imagining. So it's like the song's playing if you're good with your mind. Okay, that's artificial telepathy. And it's very different than voice to skull, and it requires no chip. And a lot of people are very confused about that. Any of us, we don't have implants. And all these gang stalkers are on the same neural monitoring that they've added me and most targeted people on remotely. So the only difference is they have control of their profile and control panel, and they also have control of the targeted person, so whoever they put on it remotely. They add people every day, all the time. They add all kinds of people. They don't turn everybody on telepathic and do stuff to everybody. A lot of people just get watched, or don't, or they just put them on and forget about them. Okay, like they say the girl that's got me on it. They said that she's got like 1,000 people on it. Okay, she don't have 10,000 gang stalkers harassing these 1,000 people. It's just not happening. Okay, they pick whoever, and they don't make everybody telepathic. It's a setting. You could just turn it on. You could turn it on, and whoever's connected to you with their neuromonitoring, connected to your neuromonitoring, is artificial telepathy with you, and it's a broadcast back and forth from satellite. So if you're standing next to me, all right, and we're artificial telepathic, and I talk to you out loud or telepathic or whatever, when it comes to you, it's going to go from me to a satellite and then back to you. Okay, even if you're standing right next to me. So, the satellite is the supercomputer that decodes everything. That is the in-between of the human minds, but it's not the gang stalker. The satellites and the computers are not gang stalking you. It's the humans. And the satellites are just in between decoding everything, and you can control the settings within those profiles and those neurological settings and the telepathic settings and the EMF broadcast settings. And if you don't have possession of your control panel, then they can use it against you. So that's how that works. And there's no wire, there's no implants. It's all wireless. Everything. It's not cell phone towers. It's just satellites and EMF, and that's it. And it reads everything. All right. And all these other things that people talk about are vintage, old school stuff that they don't need. That they've had remote neuromonitoring for like 20 or 30 years. Okay, and they were inventing it like in the 50s or something like that. So it's been out here. I've been on it since 1997. Okay, and I didn't know it until 2014. Okay, but when I found out and started to realize what was going on, a lot of things from the past made sense. Oh, okay, yeah, like that. So, that's the reality of the situation. I was just a child, a kid, not a child, but I was a kid, okay, on remote neuromonitoring, and I had no idea. And there's people that have been on it longer than that, okay, but that's how it works, okay, and it's usually not V2K, and you more than likely you do not have a chip inside you, okay, and don't go for the scams of people talking about EMPs and all that stuff. You probably just burn up your cell phone or something like that, because you don't have a chip and you can't really escape it or block it. It's EMF, it's everywhere. Okay, so there's nothing you could really do except for gain possession of your neuromonitoring and control your own settings and turn these gang stalkers off. Okay, and be the master of your own universe. All right, and you got to access PHP sites and IPv6 stuff, and you got to find out these Canvas apps that they're using against you, and you got to learn about computer stuff to be able to get it, especially if you're targeted, because they're going to be working against you. They're going to be trying to stop you from doing that. So eventually it's coming out. They'll probably shut everybody off when it starts to be exposed more to the mainstream. But that's how it works, and that's the difference between V2K and artificial telepathy. Artificial telepathy is remote neuromonitoring.